Well, Matt, have you heard the news?
I have, yes.
The true Battlefield game has finally returned from the grave. The one that we've all been waiting for. I don't know if you got to play in the playtest over the weekend, but Battlebit. Do you remember that Battlefield, the Battlefield knockoff?
I do, yes. I do indeed.
I like that game. I don't mean to call it a Battlefield knockoff in a derogatory sense. It just is a Battlefield knockoff, but it's a great one.
Yeah.
Had a huge launch, quite a while ago. I want to say 2-ish years ago, something like that.
About 2 years, yeah.
And it had insane player numbers. Like the devs were trying to scramble to get more servers online when the game launched because it just saw such a huge success at its initial launch that they were not prepared for at all. And this was a small team of guys. I think their core team was 3 people or something. Game did exceptionally well. And they're a small team of guys. They had a hard time keeping up with the momentum of everything. They made some changes that the community didn't totally love. And then they kind of went radio silent. And everybody went...
That's a way to phrase it. Yeah, for 2 years.
I think it was 18 months since the last time they chatted with the community.
2 years.
Yeah, quite a while. And all of a sudden... over the weekend, I didn't get to play in it because they didn't I don't think there was a big announcement for this or I just missed it or something, but they did a little play test with some of their upcoming changes. So they've been working on the game. They've been doing stuff and it sounds like we're going to get a Battlebit update pretty soon. But it's just kind of, I have talked to the devs before, actually. I did a little stream with the devs once and they made me a little custom skin and stuff like that. And they seem like nice guys, but they did totally seem to drop off the face of the earth, which was surprising considering how insanely successful their game was when it first dropped. You're like, that's indie level success that only a handful of indie devs will ever experience. And to see them just disappear shocked everyone, I think. But they're not, they didn't vanish. Apparently they're still at it. They've been at it and just decided to I don't know, shut themselves into a dark room and work on the game and come up with an update 2-ish years later.
The unfortunate thing is that I had some friends that did play on the playtest and it was a disaster.
Oh, no.
Tracer rounds wouldn't actually disappear. And so the entire map was just filled with tracer rounds and it lagged. I think some of my buddies got down to 2 FPS. They had negative FPS. So,
okay. So
yeah.
I wonder if that was the only bug with the build. Because you could easily compile a build and be like, whoops, I checked that box that says don't despawn tracer rounds or whatever. And then the whole build's screwed, right? And then you're like, playtest is live, guys, let's go. And then it all becomes a disaster.
And it is a beta. So if you're not aware, Battlebit is in early access. So they had a beta of an early access, which is not unheard of. There's other great games out there that Project Zomboid has their unstable build and things like that. But yeah, you'd think that they could have just slowly rolled this stuff out over the last 18 months, as you just said, and had players test it, like an early access. But it feels like they are trying to have it both ways. I could be, I'm putting probably words in their mouth, but you have a early access. They're acting like it's a 1.0 and then come in later with hey, we realize we need a really big update to bring back players. So we got to make it work right, which is, fair. Mm-hmm. But I don't like when a game dev uses an early access in this way.
Yeah, they're making unfortunately some, I would call them missteps as indie devs in terms of at least what people expect or is the norm in terms of how to update a game and stay in touch with the community and let people know what's going on, especially for an early access game where you haven't fully delivered the final product and people have bought your early access game expecting it to eventually come out with the final product. To go radio silent like that is a bit unprofessional, but I think I speak for most people who bought the game. I would love to see it have a nice comeback, a nice resurgence, because it was cool. They were doing stuff that Battlefield hadn't even done before with more players on a map than Battlefield games. And
it was great. I do not regret Battlebit at all. Like I had so much fun, and that's why I recommended back then, like play it now, play it when it's exciting. And I got my money. It was $15, I think. So it's it's not like you had to pay, it's a $70 game or anything like that. The Steam early access even has a note that says the last update made by the developers was over 23 months ago. So even Steam has a note now under the early access part.
So like the community post by them was over 23 months ago or whatever.
Apparently, according to literally Steam's early access page.
Yeah, it's a long time. I think most people just assumed they had abandoned the project and moved on to something else. But you know what I liked about that game that people bring up in Battlefield a lot, and I don't think it would work in Battlefield, but
VoIP.
Yes, the VoIP in Battlebit was fantastic. It really was, because I think because the game was more lighthearted, you're running around as these blocky soldiers. Even though it has all the same elements that a Battlefield game has for the most part, everybody's just kind of LARPing a bit and sort of role playing and having fun. There was very few people that were just like cursing at you or saying like inflammatory things. And
you could easily just mute them instantly if you wanted to.
It had a great system for muting. Yeah, when people were playing rock music or something at the start of the round, you're like mute, all the people doing the annoying stuff. Super quick and easy. People have brought it up. They're like, Battlefield 6 really needs it. There's games that, people have been enjoying the voice comms in Arc Raiders because it really does add a huge amount of personality to that game to be able to chat with people. I'm on the fence with Battlefield because...
Me too.
It attracts a different crowd. It attracts kind of a younger, maybe a try-hard crowd, maybe a less mature crowd, and you're going to start getting a lot of swear words and bad things are going to be said in mass, I feel.
Yeah. It is weird because I completely agree. I don't know why I have that feeling, but I think you're right. I do think it would be a potential disaster and not be what Battlebit was at all.
I think it would be kind of like, how in Call of Duty when you can hear the comms at the end of a round, right? When they're like, hey, what'd be cool is if we let people chat in the scoreboard section of the match. And then you hear all the worst things you've ever heard for like 30 seconds before it switches over to the next
Or just
match.
open mic nonsense of like, I don't want to listen to this person eating Cheetos right now. Like, I don't want that.
Yeah, totally. So it would probably be like that. I think it'd be cool if Battlefield explored that idea because when done right, especially like in Arc Raiders where they have incredible positional audio for it and it fades out nicely and reverberates accurately based on the environment that you're in, it really places that person in the world in a really sort of realistic way where you're like, oh, that's Tim over there. Tim sounds like that. He's in that room that's echoey and it's just like a guy talking to me in the space and it's cool. And it adds that. Battlefield might be a little too fast paced and chaotic for it to really mean all that much. I notice even when playing with friends in Battlefield, we're not making out tons of tactical call outs all the time, right? Because it's just so chaotic. You're not like always being like, oh, it's the guy in second story to the window to the third. It's like, just shoot that. There's bullets coming from the shoot the guy, like
just shoot him. Yeah. And I mean, Battlebit was also super chaotic. I mean, it was probably even more chaotic in a lot of ways, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But would I be okay if they tried it out in Battlefield? Sure. Yeah, I'd be down. But I don't know if it would have the same magic that Battlebit had, or even definitely not Arc Raiders. But Arc Raiders is a very different beast too.
Yeah, lesser players, and it's really kind of the social experiment is half the fun of that game. Is this guy friend or foe? Are we going to be best friends and have an epic adventure together, or what? So that's always fun. I gotta say, I'm still really enjoying BF6. The player numbers are staying solid. The seasonal content progression stuff is fine. It's fun. It's not like a complete disaster, which I feel like I have to say based on every battle, all the stuff that's happened in the past decade of Battlefield stuff where their seasonal stuff is just super weird and the progression sucks and just whatever. This is all fun. I'm enjoying it. I found out the other day, I didn't even realize this, that you could mod the weapon packages. I thought you just had to leave them default. I didn't realize.
I think the weapon packages just come with skins, don't they?
So, yeah, it's like a skin, but like it comes with a bunch of attachments. I thought initially, because if you use it without having unlocked the gun first, you can't mod it at all, right? You can't change it out. But if you have the weapon unlocked, you can change all the attachments, and it's actually kind of cool in that you can get some high-level attachments from a weapon package that you would only get at like mastery level 40 or something.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
And then you can put attachments on
I just assumed
it.
it was like a weapon skin, so I just ignored it.
No, you can use it, and if it's so like the TR7 in the progression list has like one of the high cap magazines, which would take you a long time to unlock.
Nice, yeah.
So you can use that package and then just throw the rest of your unlocks on it that you like.
What a bizarre system, Dice.
It wasn't clear. So because the first time you use a weapon package, you either don't have the weapon unlocked or you don't have enough stuff and you don't think to test it out. And you're like, oh, it's just a pre-built gun and I have to either use it that way,
right,
or use my other gun. And then I found out like you can just mod it and make it your own gun. Oh, okay, cool.
All right, that's cool. I did not know that.
Yeah, and how many hours do you have in a Battlefield 6 at this point?
Over 100. So.
Over 100, and you didn't know that. Yeah, so that's kind of cool. I just found that out the other day too, and I was just like, oh, wow, this is actually useful and neat. And now I can use some of those cool skins from those weapon packages that I otherwise was 100% ignoring. So yeah, I'm enjoying BF6. The player count is staying healthier than any past Battlefield game I've ever seen for this duration of time. Like, what
is probably helping is RedSec being free though.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I don't know if the Steam charts factors in the free client as well. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. People seem to be enjoying RedSec as well. I've kind of lost my interest in RedSec a bit, if I'm being honest.
It's Battle Royale, and I just I played it, I enjoyed it. But you're right, I'm kind of in the same boat where I'm just like, it's fun.
Yeah, if I'm going to play that more adventurous game mode, I think Arc Raiders has filled that niche for me. And if I want the Battlefield experience, I'll play Battlefield.
Right.
But yeah, it's fun. I think they've done a good job with weapon balance in general and keeping things up to date. And I'm excited to see where it goes from here. I still think the weakest part of the game, having spent, you've spent over 100 hours, I'm racking up the time in it, is still just kind of the maps. The maps still seem like kind of the lesser side of the game, but it sounds like the devs have really thought about it a lot, and they've already made posts talking about how they're working on more map ideas and even looking at reworking some of the current maps to make them flow better.
Did they actually mention reworking old maps?
Well, they mentioned looking at the data of the maps to see where things go, which they've done in the past, and they've used that while building a map to make it better, but they don't have a big history of going back and reworking maps other than 2042. So This is a lot of the same team that worked on 2042, so I mean, maybe they will go back, but I certainly don't want the 2042 experience of them spending like a year going back and reworking everything. The maps
making bad maps mid, basically. Yeah.
Basically, yeah. Do you remember 2042? It's funny because I was making a map video talking about the craziest maps ever made in Battlefield, and one of the craziest maps was Breakaway from 2042, the big ice map with the So it's just a massive, crazy map that has
humongous,
huge map. It is totally bizarre. But one of the coolest things of that map when the game came out was that really high observation base, that had
that no one went to?
Yeah, nobody went to. Looks super cool, though. And you could wingsuit off of it, fly it across the map. Well, when they remade the map, that got taken away. It was no longer part of Inbounds anymore. So I was like, oh, I can't capture footage of what was the coolest part of this map for a while because they literally... It's been lost in history, essentially. That was like part of the trailer sequence where they're jumping off of the cliff, and it's like the coolest part of the trailer. That's not in the game. You can't go to that spot anymore.
Clearly, they were inspired by some Damavan Peak with that one.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That was the Damavan Peak of 2042, but...
no one went there.
Yeah. It was a poorly laid out map. It was just a poorly laid out map. They're like, you want to go here and try and snipe somebody from 2 kilometers away? No.
Ironically, it is kind of the map, kind of a style of map that a lot of people are claiming that they want. Big open, large scale. You have to make big choices of like moving around, but didn't work out that well for 2042.
Yeah. Well, you know what I miss? You know what I miss from, you could take this from any past Battlefield game, is like,
Yeah.
you're at a point, capture the point with your squad buddies, you pile in a Jeep, and then you drive for a while. And there's like a period of driving where you're like looking at the map. You're like, hey, do I go left or right here? You're asking squad mates. You're making a decision. There's a little bit of downtime. There's a little bit of traversal time. You're deciding where to go next. And there's like a traversal period. And I find that I don't get much of that in BF6, like at all. Like you could get it if you're playing the bigger maps, which is like a map basically. Mm-hmm. And then everything in between that is like, nah, there's not really much traversal time. I mean, you're not going to have time to talk because you're going to be shooting at somebody, essentially.
Yeah.
They're so dense.
What Battlefield are you referring to?
Like past games, you mean?
Yeah.
Like you could take BF1, for example. It's a good one where you like say on Sinai Desert, capture a point in the desert, kill the guys there. All right, let's get into a vehicle and go to the next point. Like I like that moment of downtime, you know, when you're like traversing the map. It feels more like an adventure. I don't get that as much with BF6 because it's
you definitely don't know.
It's so compact, and I like the new maps. It's so funny because every time I play that oil field, what's it called? Some Black Fields or something?
I don't know,
Blackwell.
Yeah.
I have a great round.
Not great for me. I'm not a big fan of it, but
I just snipe the shit out of people or get in a tank and absolutely own them with like armor piercing rounds from across the map. I'm not saying the map is great, but I adapt my play style and then have a blast playing it.
Nice.
The other one, the California map that's been out for a while, I think that map is great, except they put like 3 times the amount of vehicles in it that it needs. Like it's just an insane amount of vehicles when you're like, okay, we're playing in like 2 square blocks of city. And they're like, all right, I think you'll need about 4 tanks, 2 APCs, maybe 5 to 7 Jeeps.
I don't think it has that many. I think the reason why it appears that it does is that the new vehicle, the armored Jeep, is really strong. It's not a tank, but it basically acts as one.
I don't like
RPGs.
I don't like it. It takes too many RPGs. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like 3 RPGs to drop, which is like a lot.
I also have an issue with the way they've balanced the vehicle mounted machine guns. They're too good. They're laser beam accurate, and they drop you in a split second. Like the heavy round.
In like 2 rounds.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. So as soon as you get a good person on one of those things, you can just drop 10 people like really quickly. I think they need to lower the accuracy of those weapons or something, because I think they had a good spot for it in past Battlefield games. You know, the gunner seat was decent, but it wasn't God tier. Now it's God tier somehow. The gunner in a tank will get more kills than the tank driver. And you're like, okay, it's getting a bit crazy.
Odd. I agree. I think it could use some tuning.
Yeah, I would tune that, and then I would look at if those armored vehicles are a little too tough, because 3 RPGs sucks, but it sucks a lot more when the gunner is God tier, and you're like, cool, let me just put 3 rockets into you while you can drop me in half a second.
It's effectively a Jeep, right? Like it is. It's a Jeep.
Yeah. They're cool. I mean, I like using them. I just don't like going up against them. And the people that know how to exploit them real good. And then you're just like, all right, this is tough.
I like Eastwood a lot though. I think it's a great map.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and speaking of downtime, at least as infantry, maybe not so much as in like a vehicle, but you can really weave in between all the different buildings and put down spawn beacons on the side, and that can give you a good flank and things. And it just, I don't know, it just feels more organic, and I think they did a good job with it. I like the map.
Solid map. Yeah, and the game's got me really looking forward to whatever content they're working on next. Mostly on the map side of things, because I think they really need to give us a bit more variety there. And also, my favorite big scale map, the Murok Valley. I swear that comes up in queue like never. I've for the last maybe 20 hours of Battlefield, I don't think it's come up once for me. And I've played a crap load of Conquest.
You might have to start using the custom search, which is annoying, but
yeah, I just don't get it. There's not that many maps in the game. There's I guess there's more now because of the new maps, but yeah, I just haven't played it. I'm like, do people not like this map? What's going on, man?
Could be. it could be that people aren't using it in the custom search, and so it's not being spun up as often. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, yeah, I'm not getting my bigger outdoorsy feel that I want. Maybe that's why I like Blackwell Fields, because it's just like, here's a map where I can get in some hills and snipe people. Because there's no other maps in the game right now that spawn, at least, where I can do that regularly.
Yeah, the one I get the most feels like Firestorm. I get that all the time.
Yeah, and the new Firestorm has become not. I thought it was good initially, and I'm becoming less and less a fan of it, if I'm being honest.
Is it like because it's different, or because it's just Firestorm? And well, Firestorm's a fine map. I never thought it was like one of the best maps in the Battlefield franchise.
Yeah.
It was always just kind of, it was a good map, but
yeah,
surprised they brought it back this many times is my surprise.
So part of what you said, I think, is the problem, is that it was decent to begin with. And I think the things that they've changed to it have made it more chaotic and more clustered. And that's just because they've added so much cover to the map that now you're like, oh, let me cross this big open terrain. Okay, nobody to my left, nobody to my right. All right, I'm going to go. Oh, there's a guy behind the 50,000 rocks that somebody could be behind now. So it's sort of changed the flow and the vibe of the map, and I just find it far more chaotic than it used to be. It's a really cool looking map, but yeah, it's kind of dropped down a peg in terms of what I think about it. Which is, again, sucks because it's one of the few large-ish maps.
Yeah, it's one of the only large maps.
Yeah.
That and Murok, basically.
Yep. That and Murok. So I've got Firestorm, which I don't love, and then Murok, which I actually like a decent amount, but for whatever reason never comes up in a queue. So I gotta like force it in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, having fun with it, slowly ranking up the billions of weapons to a higher tier where I can get a suppressor, and then the god tier IRNV optic, if you ever get that on again. My God.
Takes forever.
I think they're going to have to nerf the IRNV once enough people start getting it.
Once more people get it.
Yeah. Okay. That's the only reason why it's not a huge problem right now, is because you're like, oh, what do you mean you didn't hit mastery rank 38 or whatever you need?
Yeah. I don't even think I have a gun that's over 30, maybe.
I think my highest gun is like 35, and I focused on it for quite a while.
Yeah.
And it's just, it takes too long, man. Just like,
It's great that there's so many weapons. I love that. But holy, does it take forever to get these weapons leveled up.
And a lot of the meta attachments are at the top end of that rank too. Extended mags for SMGs, which are really good.
Suppressor. God, yeah.
The suppressor is
so
a must.
Frustrating.
Yeah.
So many times do they put a extended mag on a weapon that needs it. Like, oh, you're using a vector? Oh, that's going to be 17 rounds for hours and hours and hours of playing the game. 17, enjoy, have fun. I'm like, what? This is awful.
Yeah. I really think they should have put important attachments up front and then kind of the refinement attachments later on, where you're like, I can make this gun usable pretty quickly and then refine it later. It's like, give me a base level suppressor early, and then some guns let you do that, but a lot of them are like, no, you need to hit.
No, most are
in the
forever.
20s. Yeah. So it's like, give me the cheap suppressor early, and then give me the expensive suppressor later, like further down, and then I can refine later. But instead, it's like, nah, you'll just get suppressor 1 at rank 24 and then suppressor 2 at rank 35. And you're just like, okay. Like, given how essential the suppressor has become for game meta, like every gun's running a suppressor now. And if you're not, it's just because you don't know any better.
It's very good.
It's too good. Some of the things that I think previous Battlefield games did to balance stuff better, and BF6 is just going, oh, we'll just make things more expensive on the point system, which doesn't work because some attachments are so good that whatever the point cost is, it'd be like,
kind of does in some ways, but I agree.
It kind of works, but doesn't quite fully get it there. Suppressors in past Battlefield games would basically say it's going to lower your bullet velocity because you're using subsonic ammo or whatever. And that would be a big trade-off. So people go, okay, well, I guess I'll use the suppressor on a gun that's CQB mostly or whatever. Like, there would be some guns that negated it, but...
I agree, but Battlefield 3, my man, it was literally the attachment everyone used because it reduced recoil and it kept you off the mini map. It was insanely overpowered.
Did they ever balance that out? I can't remember.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
But it was definitely insanely good for a very long time.
Yeah. BF3 had tons of problems. I would not use that as an example of a good, well-balanced game. A great game that I love, but yeah, the DICE sort of figured out a lot of attachments.
I know, but you were saying the past Battlefields they had, and
Fair.
I just, so
Fair.
I was pushing back just a smidge.
The other thing that I thought they did a better job with too was the IRNV optics. So those have always been a problem. They've always had to balance them. They've always come out strong, and then everybody goes, "Wow, I could basically just see anybody on the map with these. I may as well use them." So the way that they've previously balanced them is given them a slow. They used to tie ADS time into the optics, which I never thought was a great design choice, and I kind of like the way BF6 is doing it more. But that was how they balanced those IRNV scopes previously, where you could aim down sights with them, but it would take longer. And so it kind of relegated the weapon to sort of specific play style where you're like, I got to be a little slower. So I'm going to reserve myself for mid to long range combat and use it there. And if somebody sneaks up on me, I'm going to have real slow ADS. So I'm kind of screwed. And that sort of gated the use cases of the IRNV. But in BF6, it's like, no, you can ADS crazy fast with them. And now you can throw them on any build and just cheese your way through the bad visibility in this game. And it's too good. And I think as soon as people start unlocking it in mass, all we're going to see is suppressed IRNV weapons everywhere.
How much or how many points does it cost for using it?
I think the first tier is 25, so it's expensive.
Okay, well, this would be an example of where I think they could bump it up, and it would actually be a way to balance it out. So if you wanted to use an IRNV optic and you bump that up to like 30 or 35, then all of a sudden you can't run a suppressor and extended mag, or you can't run, you actually have to kind of pick and choose a little bit more. I also think that they should probably make like the undergrips a little bit. Why does every undergrip have to increase my goddamn inaccuracy while on the move? Like, why does every single one of them just feel like my weapon now is going to just start shooting every, no, stop that, DICE. Stop it.
I know. You're like, I'm spending some of those grips are like 35 points. The higher level one is like 40 or 45. You're just like, okay. Yeah. And it gives me negative stuff also. Come on, guys.
Yeah. I don't like that. I don't like it at all.
I think they made the mags too expensive as well. So like you go, base mag, 5 points. Okay. Base mag with fast reload, 10 points. All right, fine, cool. Then it's like 5 more bullets in your magazine, 30 points. You're like, hang on a second, guys. And then it's like 10 more bullets in your magazine, 55 points. You have, what? Come on, guys. It's not that worthwhile to put that. So it's like, yeah.
Well, I think that's kind of what it's going to be a balancing act for a while. And I think they have to go in and fine tune things, but I get where they're going with it, but I do think it needs some help. It's a little loving. Yeah,
for sure. There's some guns where I'm like, well, I would never spend any points on the mag stuff because it's way too expensive. Yeah. And then IRNV is cheaper than like all the mag upgrades. And you're like, okay, let's do some adjustment. I think we'll see probably a pretty big balance pass at some point down the road where hopefully they look at the cost of all the attachments and what people are actually using. Like, and I've complained about the 200 round belt mag for a while being like completely unusable on machine guns because you literally cannot put anything else on the gun if you use that magazine. You actually have to take off not just the flash hider, but like the entire barrel attachment on the front of the gun just to get the mag on. So you're like, it has the little screw threads on the front of the weapon. You're like, is that even am I supposed to shoot a gun like that? I don't think I'm supposed to.
I don't know. Probably not.
Yeah. But I got to keep my iron sights on there, but I can take off the barrel. Yeah. It's just all silliness right now.
Yeah.
I'm loving it. I like it so much. I've got tons of criticisms for it, but that's what I do. I like the Battlefield games. Then we criticize them. To make them better. We want them better.
Hopefully not from a cynical standpoint. And it's coming across because we like it.
Yes, I like it. I'm playing it a lot, having a blast with it. I'm addicted to the progression tree right now, just getting those weapons unlocked. The endless progression tree of weapons in the game. That will take forever. It's been a little while. We took Thanksgiving off.
We did, yes.
I hope everybody stateside had a good Thanksgiving. And I think I'm trying to remember what we talked about 2 weeks ago, but you hadn't played Call of Duty multiplayer yet, I don't think.
No, I don't think I had. Yeah.
So you've played it now.
And now I have.
And the verdict is.
It is. It's Call of Duty. I mean, it's definitely it is the most Call of Duty of Call of Duties.
Yeah.
I had an okay time, but I just didn't really feel the drive after the fact to continue to go and play more, which is not usually the case. Like normally I'll get a couple of weeks out of the COD multiplayer, just vibing and leveling up, and I don't really go for like the gold skins or anything like that.
Sure.
The diamonds, that's not really me. But trying out weapons, leveling them up, having a good time. Did not feel that desire after my one night of playing it on stream. Was just like, okay, I'm probably done with this for this year and just ready to move on.
Apparently this year's been pretty tough for COD in terms of sales and player interest. I think Battlefield kind of beat them to the punch and has been a great game. And everyone who got it has been like, well, why would I do COD? I can do Battlefield. It's come into the COD lane far enough with a lot of that CQB combat and, Vince Zampella designed the game. Right? He's at the top, So it feels a little more in the COD vein than past Battlefield games. And I think a lot of COD players are just like, oh yeah, well, this kind of scratches that itch. And also it's got cool vehicle stuff if I want to get into that as well. So it's got a lot of that stuff that I want from COD here now. So it's interesting. It's most interesting because COD has been the dominant force in the FPS scene kind of since its inception. I would say like the first few Call of Duties, it was still scrapping around.
Modern Warfare is when it really took off.
Yeah. The first few CODs, it was kind of scrapping with Battlefield and it was becoming a player, but it wasn't the dominant force in the FPS realm yet. Modern Warfare was like, holy crap, what is this game?
They revolutionized literally multiplayer FPS games.
Yeah.
Like,
is that when the kill streaks came in? Was that when kill streaks came in? It might have been.
I don't know if that's because that was my very first Call of Duty. I don't know if it was the first, but yeah, it definitely refined the formula, and so many games tried to take notice and copy it because it was a big deal.
Yeah. So they've been riding that formula for I don't know, 2 decades. When did Modern Warfare come out? Yeah, long time ago. And maybe it's winding down now. It's hard. They've innovated. They added Royale. They added zombies. They added all this stuff. But I'm not saying COD is like over, but like the hype and the craze around it, perhaps it's losing some headway to Battlefield, to Arc Raiders, to the other big shooters that are with Arc innovating and Battlefield not sucking for the first time in like a decade.
Right.
Now it's got some actual competition and it's actually losing out to its competition, which is like unheard of.
We could also argue that there's so many things we could pinpoint, right? Like it could be their yearly release cycle. People are maybe just finally getting fatigued. It could be the fact that their whole the whole vibe and atmosphere of Call of Duty has really diminished over the years, and even they've kind of acknowledged it with their skins now, where they're like, yeah, we're going to tone down the skins. You can't bring skins from Black Ops 6 on over because you can you would see it's essentially the Fortniteification, right? Yeah. And I think
also the second Black Ops game after another
in a row.
Yeah. So you're like, okay, they clearly screwed up their release schedule, and this is kind of like blundered it a bit, I think.
Yeah, and then also like it doesn't like it's not the best product either. Like it doesn't feel like they really it doesn't feel like a labor of love. It doesn't feel like something that they really sat down and were like, this is something that we're very passionate about, and this is something that there's probably some people there, but that campaign, genuinely one of the worst campaigns.
It's become a meme.
If not the worst campaign in Call of Duty history. It was atrocious.
The big bad guy has become basically the meme of just crappy boss fights, essentially. Yeah.
And spoiler alert, he's not actually a bad guy. He's your friend. It's just you're tripping balls, and he just becomes the big bad guy. Yeah, it's... it was bad.
Yeah. No, I don't think you're in the minority on that. Everybody everybody thought the same. And I think for COD too, the single player is a big draw of buying the game for a lot of players. Yeah. So if the single player sucks and then they're like, and the multiplayer is kind of the same stuff you've played before, then they're like, okay, well, maybe I'll spend my dollars elsewhere this year.
They have, and like to their credit, there are a ton of maps at launch, and they're going to be adding a ton of maps for season. I think I could Google it real fast, but season 1 roadmap. I think it's like 6 maps or something crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like they've got a lot of there's an insane maps. I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is it 9 maps? That's insane. Now I think some of them might be remakes and stuff, and that's one of the reasons why there's a lot of maps in the base game too, is many of them are from previous titles.
Mm-hmm.
But still, like, if you like the multiplayer and you're just looking for a wide variety of maps, like they're definitely doing it. But at the core, I just can't see myself playing any more of it.
Well, that's what AAA does, right? Is they go, here's a base product that maybe on its very base level is not any more impressive than just about any other game you've played, but we're going to cram it full of so much content. You just like, it's just insane. Nobody else can compete with it.
Sometimes.
Yeah. And I think they just missed the mark potentially on the base game being decent this time around. And then they're like, here's your content pipeline. And you're like, I don't even like the base experience, so this doesn't help that much. Yeah. So you've been playing more Arc Raiders. I assume you're max level in that now?
Yeah, I'm max rank. I got my expedition done. Yep, still playing though, because it's really fun. Mm-hmm. The trials are okay.
They feel like Battlefield assignments from past Battlefield games.
Yeah, and they can be exploited, and they don't really benefit solos, and so that's kind of a bit of a letdown. But yeah, I'm still enjoying it.
Yeah,
I'm still liking the game a lot. Excited to see where things go in the coming months. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think in maybe 2 or 3 weeks' time, they're doing the reset potentially. I assume we'll probably get some sort of seasonal content and new map, whatever they have planned for that reset time period. I've also hit the level cap, if you will, and the he said his name, and got all the expedition stuff done, and that's allowed me to back off from it a bit and chill out and play some BF6 and enjoy that game for a while. But I'm not gonna lie, Arc got its hooks in me where I'm just like, I still want to play it. It's still fantastic. It's just so much fun.
It's just a fun game. Yeah.
Dropping into the world. I did kind of burn out on the CQB map, whatever it's called.
Stellamontis.
It's a neat map, but I realized what I really liked about Arc is like these big outdoorsy maps where you have the tunnel networks and the underground areas that are fun, but then always coming back up to the surface where robots are flying around and stuff. Stellamontis is like, here's some rooms and these grenade robots that will like end you if you don't know what's going on.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I do like it in the sense that it gives players so much variety where you have like a spectrum of all the different maps.
Yeah.
And depending on what you're looking for, you can go to a map for that experience, right? You've got your big open ones with like Dam and Spaceport.
Yeah.
You've got something in between. You've got Buried City that's more towards the Stellamontis. And then you just got Stellamontis where it's like, yeah, you want close quarter combat where things are going to go randy with shotguns and stuff, like buckle up, big man.
I played a couple matches where I'm like, I'm just going in for PvP is my goal. Solo PvP. I'm just going to go in and just shoot on sight. Like that's my goal. And I went in and like, I would get in these firefights, drop a dude, heal up, maybe have time to loot him if I was lucky. Another guy comes, firefight. I killed my first 2 matches with this premise of just fighting everybody. I killed 7 people and then not move any more than like 50 feet before the next guy's there. And there was literally areas where I was like, I'd always back into the same choke point. So there was a pile of bodies in front of me. And it never stopped until finally some guy got the drop on me. And it's usually some dude in a free kit who came in by the time I have no ammo and shields or whatever left and then kills me. I'm like, what's going on with the spawns in here? Like, just endless. I enjoyed it, but was also kind of annoying. Like, how many people do I got to kill to just get out of here with some loot? Like, apparently,
the thing
like
is that
12.
you could have just, skedaddled at probably many points, unless you were literally stuck in a.
Well, I wanted to loot.
You
I
want
wanted
the
to loot. That was the thing.
You want the loot, but that's the thing is like you kind of have to weigh the pros and cons, and so. But I do hear you. Like I do feel like some of the maps there's too many people nearby where. Like I spawned in on Dam at night and I saw a firefight out in the distance. I ran over there and I
you third
arrived.
partied him.
Another person
Just
was
say
fighting.
It, you third
so there was a second fight. Then I third partied. Then I got fifth partied. On that one, and I'm like, what? Like this is at the beginning of the match. Like, how is there this many men?
Yeah.
Right. Like it just becomes this revolving door of action, which can be fun, but at the same time can also diminish it because I think when it's the game is at its best when you're not sure that players are nearby, but if there's always someone nearby, it's it can get a little annoying.
It's interesting to see it evolve a bit now that I think a lot of people have maxed out their progression and the PvP's becoming more frequent. Less people are like friendly, it's more shoot on sight a little bit more.
Hey Raider.
Yeah. So that's been interesting to see, and there's been some interesting community feedback that on suggestions on how to balance the game and kind of like talk about late spawns and free kits and all that stuff. Suggestions saying that like free kits should only be for late spawns, and if you come in with a full
I would be
kit,
okay with that. I disagree with the notion that free kits should be worse because I think the free kits are pretty bare bones as is. Like there's some that are worse than others. Like if you get a Rattler, you're pretty much just cooked, right?
Yeah.
But a Kettle's fine, Stitcher's good, Pharaoh's also really, really solid, right? Like you can win and come out if you get the drop on someone who's got a better loadout, right? Even if they've got a blue shield, like you can come out on top. I think the reason why there's so many people running in with free kits, especially on Stellamontes, is that it's just so easy and it's so convenient. And I think they gotta improve the out of raid experience to get people back in, either with like a loadout system that you can just be like, I want this, and then you click a button. It's like, well, it would require these materials to make all this, and you like click yes if you have them, right? And then it just puts it into your loadout, right?
I love economy builds in the game. It takes a while to put them together, though. If I got to make all the attachments and crap that I want for my level 4 Stitcher and a level 4 Pharaoh, like it's a fairly cheap build to put together. But yeah, it just takes time. And you're like, why am I spending so much time out of game? If there was a button, I think I would run that much more frequently. Otherwise, sometimes I'm just like, free kit, whatever, or something.
Yeah. So I think it is indicative of just how slow it can be. It's not as bad as Tarkov. It's not that bad, but if I could just easily click one button and then it would give me my augment, my shield, and my heals, and maybe like a grenade, and then all I have to think about is the weapon I want to bring in, and then I can just go in, right? Because I always bring the same amount of heals. I always bring the same amount, basically the same shield every time. I don't just having to slide all that over every single time. Like it doesn't sound like much, but it does get quite obnoxious.
It'd be really nice too, where you could, the order, I believe, that you put things in your slots are where they appear on the wheel. So having some more consistency with that, at the start of a game. And also just being like, I want one mini smoke grenade and one adrenaline syringe every match, so I just want to make sure that's in my kit. And so that I have that, that kind of convenience would be massive. It would go a long way. I'm sure they're working on something like that.
I'm sure they are too.
It'd be nice if they
surprised.
Talked about it. But whatever. They are releasing their cool making of Arc Raiders videos, which I'm enjoying. The first one was good. The second one was kind of a little bit more of the same, but it was cool to see them talk about the first concept of the game and realize where it wasn't working, and then having to like take routes and and who was advocating for which changes and all that stuff. But it was neat. It was cool to see so many devs that were like really passionate about it and also involved in the design thinking of the game. I don't know how many other studios are like that, where they engage all the devs in like, how do we solve this problem together? Come on, guys, let's critical think together. where I think a lot of other studios are like, all right, make 200 guns. And then you're just like, okay, I'm making 200 guns.
Okey-dokey.
Okay, we got to make 50 guns and 12 maps, and they got to do that stuff. So do the stuff. And you're like, okay.
Yep.
Like, yeah, it felt less top down and more full team engaged and sort of an exploratory idea where, you know, the big decisions come from the top ultimately. But it was, I don't know, it was interesting listening to it and sort of seeing them figure stuff out and having to completely change gears because Arc Raiders could have been just a PvE only experience, which I know there's a subset of people out there that think they want that. But I think if Arc Raiders was PvE, we wouldn't be talking about it right now.
I don't think we would either. Yeah. I think it would have been, you know, I think people would play it and it probably would have been fun based off of like, it's a cool system. Like the mechanics and the robots are fun to fight against, but it does, they are what makes it enjoyable because there are the threat of PvP nearby.
And it's really cool that the making of it, the first video, if for anyone who watches that, they basically explain why they were making the game that a lot of those people who think they want Arc Raiders to be PvE or have a PvE only mode, they were making that game and came to the hard realization that it just wasn't fun or consistently fun enough. And what made it consistently fun was the player element, the random player element, and coming to that realization, even when a good percentage of the studio was like, I don't want a PvP sweat fest, you know, and then they did it and everybody was like, oh man, I think I like this more. This is better. But yeah, we'll see. I'm very curious to follow the evolution of Arc Raiders because as we said, even the dynamics between launch and now are pretty different. Like, and they're getting more different because there's just a lot more players who are like, yeah, I got 100 hours, 150 hours into the game now. Like, my goal is to kill you. Like, I'm not coming out here to run missions or be like, oh, what's that robot in the distance? I've killed the queen. I've killed the matriarch. I've killed it all. Like, yeah, I'm here to kill you. Because
I really hope that they have some more challenging robots coming out and not just the big giant like matriarch and queen. I really hope that there's like bastion level threats that are like one up from that, where it's like you really need a team, because right now, like in a 3-man, if you've got the gear, like you're gonna dumpster on these bigger robots, right? Like they are a challenge, but they go down pretty quick once you kind of have an understanding of where to shoot and what to use. And so it'd be cool to have something that's a little bit more menacing. I don't know if it just needs to be like a bot that spawns more bots, so you get a little bit more overwhelmed. I don't know, but it'd be cool to have a wider variety at that like higher end game level.
Well, I think bosses inherently are a little bit boring, like a bastion level thing where you're like, as soon as at the beginning of the game, when you see a bastion, you're like, oh, you don't know how to fight it. It kills you sometimes. It's like this crazy lumbering behemoth. And then you figure it out. You kill one, you figure out where the weak points are. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, like I fought a bastion with a free kit and I picked up enough grenades to kill it at one point. And I was like, oh, that was kind of cool. I took down a bastion with a free loadout. Neat. So it becomes this thing of like mystery and fear. And then it becomes a thing of like, okay, I know how to deal with that. I'll deal with it. I kind of want to see them play in the low to mid range of the AI that you run into. And I think they could do two things. One that I think would be really easy to do right away is add a round modifier where it's just like on this map, you're going to see way more flying robots and they're going to like
the hornets and stuff.
Hornets, snitches, whatever. Like there's more of them, or maybe they'll be faster. They're going to fly like at 1.5 times the speed and their detection radiuses will be even higher. Cool.
That could be fun.
Like, yeah, all of a sudden that makes trying to get around outside way more dangerous, where you're already getting spotted sometimes on the normal mode, right? You just don't see a thing sneak up behind you, spots you got to take it down. Now people know you're there. It attracts more. You just ramp that up just a little bit. I think it would very much change the dynamics of moving around outside. So that would be a cool way to do it. And then I think you could also add some fun enemies in that tier range that just mix it up a bit more, you know?
Yeah. I just think there needs to be more variety. Like there's a good amount of bots and Arc, and I love absolutely. They're some of my favorite AI to ever fight in a multiplayer game ever. But it'd be nice if there's just, just more, just a little couple extra.
How cool would it be to see, those little androids that are like dead in those construction facilities and stuff?
Yeah.
How cool would it be to see like a humanoid arc that, I don't know, had like crazy jumping capabilities so it could like jump up onto something and like snipe you and then like move out of there really quickly? Like, I don't know.
I personally don't want there to be humanoid arcs. I mean, we kind of have it with the Shredder. That one is a little bit more humanoid. I never want it to be where I have to question if it's a player or an arc. I love that aspect about arc raiders. Is it's that's a player, that's an arc, right? It's very obvious, and I don't think the game would be worse because of it. But I personally don't want humanoids, but that's just me.
Yeah, I think I just want something faster. Where like
it's fair.
The robots right now are like they're challenging, but they are predictable. And as long as you kind of have your head on a swivel, you can usually hear them or see them coming, and you can avoid them. Like I like the idea of something faster, where you're like, oh crap, this thing's moving fast. Where's it going? Where's it going? Oh no, like it got us, or it's detected us. So something that could move around or in a different way that you're anticipating. But it's fun to theorize and think about, and I'm sure they have a lot of ideas and have probably tested a lot of different AI concepts and see what does and doesn't work. But
I would be very surprised if this is the extent of the AI that we're going to be getting, and I'm assuming with even just season 1, we'll probably get at least one more. I would hope.
Yeah.
Or season 2, whatever you want to call what we're in right now.
I assume it was season 1. Is it not season 1? I don't know.
I mean, sometimes I do see this is season 0 because it's the beginning. It's not. We're not really in the. Yeah, but it's season 1's probably right now.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it, but yeah, I'm happy that it's died down after doing all this stuff in it. The trials are fine. They're not. They could be better designed, but they're enough to sort of keep you engaged and doing stuff. But I am really looking forward to the next wave of things, and I want to see how the reset works, because I like some of the ideas and not all of the ideas. And if I had a wolf pack blueprint and a grappling hook blueprint, I might not want to do a reset, right? Like those blueprints are too damn good.
I have both.
You got both of those?
Yeah.
How expensive is it to manufacture a grappling?
It takes like a power rod and something else. I can't remember.
It's not too bad. It's pretty good.
It's all right.
Yeah.
That's actually one thing I wish that was, and I think the whole battle pass or the whole blueprint system, BP, my brain goes battle pass. The whole blueprint system, I think, just is a little scuffed. Because when you were saying, it's fun to kill a bastion, I wish there was more of a reason to kill a bastion, so more people are going after them for their loot.
Oh,
I don't feel like there's a lot of people going for them specifically, like for their cores, right? In their or what have you. It'd be nice if there was a reason to actually take that stuff out, other than just the money. I think
you need it for some weapon manufacturing, but the problem is
that I don't have, right? Well, like I can't find any of those higher level blueprints.
Yes, and also a lot of the epic guns just aren't really worth it.
Aren't really worth it. Yeah,
like
I hear the Tempest is good, but I don't have it.
Yeah, there's a huge, so it's like a massive escalation in the amount of resources needed to make a weapon, and then that weapon gives you a slight advantage, and you're like, okay, so I'm putting in like 5x, 6x the effort to make this gun that gives me like a 5% DPS improvement over a Stitcher or something. So, and then you have to maintain them too. You're like, oh, I used my blue gun for a round, and now it's going to cost me like so much just to repair it, just to keep it up and running for another game. There's tons of stuff that could be balanced and refined, and I'm sure they'll get into it. Sounds like the devs are playing their own game a lot, which is great. And I always think that's a great sign for like, okay, if all the devs are playing and they're fans of their own game, then they know what we know, things that bother us.
The opposite of what Call of Duty felt like. It actually felt like there was some passion behind this project.
Yeah. But I always like to hear that. I remember like one of the Halo games came out, and like the dev team was apparently super good at the Halo game. I'm like, oh, these guys really care. Like they love this game and they want to make it good. Speaking of Bungie though, man, there's another marathon play test going on. Did it happen already?
I have no idea. I haven't been. I get like a Discord message every once in a while because I think they've got like
Yeah,
information there, but
they're pushing along with that. Like if I were them and I was actually like if I were given the horrible situation of where Marathon is right now, as like a team lead, and my assignment was to like, let's figure out how to salvage this project, I'd be looking at Arc Raiders, how well it
I
did.
think they're absolutely, and
Yeah.
it'd be ridiculous not to.
But I'd be hopefully trying to bide enough time, like a year or more, to like do all the redesign needed to make it something, right? Because if you don't, they're going to need at least that much time to turn it into a product that people will look at over Arc Raiders, right? Already,
because that is now that now that Tarkov is out, those will be the ones you compare it to because they're the best, right?
Yep. So they got to make it better.
Why would I play something secondhand when I don't need to?
Yeah. So they got their work cut out for them, and I do hope they can pull it off because, Bungie's like iconic, but we've seen so many of those iconic studios fall, The
one thing that really stuck out to me with the Marathon, and this would be a much harder fix, is the maps were so uninspired compared to Arc Raiders. Like Arc Raiders, it feels like you're stepping into a world, and in Marathon, it felt like you were stepping into an Apex Legends map where there was points of interest that were like sectioned off, and there's corridors to get there. It's like you feel like you're in a mini battle arena, which is the same thing for Arc Raiders, right? Like they've designed these areas, every area, to have a fun firefight and be.
But it doesn't look like an arena. It
doesn't look or feel like it though.
Yeah,
and that's the key difference. When I played Marathon, I was like, this is a place that is clearly just an arena for people to fight in, right? It's a video game, that makes sense, but man, oh man, does it go a long ways when it doesn't feel that way.
Yeah. Totally hear you on that front. And it is funny too, is like, even in the devlogs for Arc Raiders, that the thing that they posted talking about designing the game, they mentioned that once they decided that it was going to be a PvP game also, they had to go over all the maps that they were building and be like, well, okay, well, these angles were fun before, but they suck for PvP. So we have to redesign all these maps to essentially be those arenas that you're talking about, but not make it look like an arena, So you're like, how do I make a old Italian village look like a PvP, or play like a PvP arena, but feel like an old Italian village?
It's pretty incredible because most times people will complain when a game comes out about the maps, and I don't feel like I'm ever like, damn, we're playing on Dam again,
Yeah. Dam is my favorite map, and it's the first map, and I've played it more than any other map, and it's still the best, I think. It's so good.
Yeah, and I walk through these worlds, and they feel so organic, but then you notice, like, oh, they put this little, like, slit alongside the spaceport, and they've got this tunnel system underneath, and, like, all of this is lending itself because it always gives you an option to be like, yes, technically this is all in the open, but there is that slit you could have walked up instead, right?
Yeah.
That would have provided a little bit of cover. There's always usually some cover or something that you can take advantage of. And if there is a big stretch of nothing that you have to run across, that usually means that the person who is shooting at you is pretty far away, because that's the only way you could get like a good line of sight on them. And then they're not going to be able to really get to you quickly. So it gives you that room if you do finally get behind cover or have a smoke to heal up, right? Like it's really well thought out. Like the maps are very well done.
Yeah. And we've talked about this before, but the third person totally controls those engagements, right? Where like if you're playing solo and you see a dude in the distance and you're like, well, if you can't drop them before they get behind cover, then you may as well not take the engagement, right? It's like you may as well try and get in closer to try and kill them before they figure out what's going on, because otherwise all you're doing is giving away your position to the enemy player and anybody else around you. So it's like, it's cool because they can see you come up, they can see you approach. Playing aggressively is super hard in it. So you have to be really stealthy and ratty, as they call it, where you're like, you get in there and you get the drop on them before they know what's going on.
Yeah.
Very effective. And I love playing solos because you get in this situation where you're like, oh, I'm about to get a drop on this dude, and he's probably not even going to like get a shot off before he's dead. And it's like, it is a fun fun moment, like right before the pounce, you know. I don't know how aggressive you go in that game, but
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I say sorry to guys sometimes after I kill them. Like, sorry, man. It is what it is, you know.
I'll revive them too. Let's be like, hey, you scared me. Here's a revive.
That's
and
ballsy.
then I'll run away. Be like, I'm out.
I've tried the revive a few times where I'm like, hey, man, like that was a good firefight. If I revive you, you want to like just go wreck the rest of the server with me, you know? And then like sometimes they game for it. Sometimes they'll try and shoot me in the back or something. But it's that fun social experiment, right? You're like, this could be epic. Do you want it to be epic? Let's go, dude. Yeah. It's just fun. It's just a good time. I've outside of games, I've watched quite a bit of stuff since our last podcast. I mean, we've had Thanksgiving and a big old time off. I enjoyed probably the most. I enjoyed The Beast in Me, which is on Netflix, I think.
Okay.
It's like Claire Danes. Is that her name? Just a cool show about an author and a serial killer, and it's good. It's well done. Good vibes.
Nice. Kind of advertisements for it.
Yeah, well acted, sort of murder mystery type vibes in it. It's fun. Keeps you guessing a little bit at the start, and then when you kind of know what's going on, still gives you some fun intrigue to like figure out how people are going to get out of things. Yeah. So that one was really fun. I recommend it, and I want to give them props for, rather than trying to create a show that's just designed to go on for endless amounts of seasons, you know, with like,
oh my God, it's refreshing to not have that happen.
Yeah. They're like, no, I think it's like 5 or 6 episodes. And they're just like, that's what it was designed to be. Yeah. And we told the whole thing. And if we make a sequel at this point, it'll just be stupid.
Not going to be a saga.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't set up for a sequel, you know, and I'm like, great, perfect.
Yeah, because that's the worst when you have a great show and then they're like, okay, we made way more money than we were ever expecting. Let's do it again. Like, what? There's nothing more. That's the story.
I don't know if you tried to watch the latest season of The Witcher.
No, I've not.
I tried it. I saw the reviews were just tanking, like horrible reviews. Everybody was like, this is the worst, and I'm like, maybe it's just, I didn't read any of them. I just saw the rating percentages and was like, maybe it's just the backlash to Henry Cavill leaving the show, right? You know, it's just them going, no, Henry Cavill's my only Witcher. No, Liam's Hemsworth. He can't possibly fill the shoes. And that's why I've rated it so low. We barely made it through one episode, man. It was bad. And it wasn't even really Liam Hemsworth's fault.
I didn't think it would be.
No, it was like, it sort of felt like all the talent that made the great first show good, like left with Henry Cavill. Like they all saw the writing on the wall. So like from everything from set design to costume design to like writing talent and everything, it just felt like everything dropped like 4 points on like a scale of 1
which is
to
saying
10.
A lot, because if I'm being honest, even though I loved Henry as Geralt, I didn't even think season 1 was like this exceptional, like well-crafted show. Like it was fun for what it was, but it was, you know, it was okay.
It has campiness to it. And I think on some level it's intentionally campy, and when done right, it can sort of be charming campy. And that's sort of what it became to me, is sort of this charmingly quippy, campy fantasy show.
And I did love, you know, Henry in that role. Like I think he did. Yeah, I think he did a fantastic job. Like I absolutely loved his character.
Yeah, but there's no question about it. Season 4 was just, it's like different people made it or something. Yeah, and I say that with only having watched 1 episode of it, but zero interest in watching any follow-up episode beyond that, which is a shame. I think it had.
That's too bad.
I really enjoyed seasons 1 through 3, like a lot.
Well, they're gonna have a season 5, so.
I feel like they should have known. That's wild that they're having a season 5. I feel like
it's the final season, but yeah.
They should have known that this was going to happen, because they did that. Do you remember they did a Witcher spin-off show randomly during like seasons 2 or 3 or something?
Yeah, I didn't watch it though.
Nobody did. I think I tried.
No one did.
I think I tried an episode and like we stopped halfway through watching it because it was just terrible, and the reviews were terrible. And you're like, oh, okay, so you guys really do you're not great at this. And like all the things that Henry apparently said he left for, like, yeah, it's kind of why these shows sucked, you know?
Yeah.
So, whatever. Did you know that Henry Cavill's making the Highlander?
I did hear about that. Yeah.
Yeah. He's got Russell Crowe's cast as the guy who's going to be his teacher. I forgot the character's name.
Could be fun.
Yeah. I really like the first Highlander movie. I think it's fantastic, but definitely a product of its era.
For sure.
Although I think it's one of those movies that you can enjoy almost at any time, but you just have to watch it being like, this is an 80s film, you know, like that's why everything's so silly.
The best Highlander movie, though, is The One.
Oh, with Jet Li? Is that it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think I saw that in
Jason
theaters.
Statham.
Yeah.
God, that movie was so over the top and goofy, but man, I loved it growing up. I love that movie.
Yeah. All I remember really is the end scene when he's like just fighting himself endlessly.
Well, the very, very end, spoiler alert, he goes to this like super mega prison where he just starts fighting everyone on the top of this, like what is happening right now?
I know. Also, you're like, why? Who wants to be in this existence? Like, why are you even fighting at this point? Just ridiculousness. I remember. Yeah, there was a period in time in which a Jason Statham blockbuster like would drop every year or multiple times a year. And you're just like, here's the latest Jason Statham like big action flick. And then Jet Li was in everything. He was in that Lethal Weapon movie that was all right. I saw this like here's the movie that was like well reviewed and everybody's like, oh, you gotta see the latest movie by, I forgot the director's name, but he's done a bunch of interesting stuff. The movie's called One Battle After Another. It's Leonardo DiCaprio's latest film.
Yeah, I've heard very good things.
Sean Penn's up for, I think, an Academy Award or something like that for his role in it. It's a weird movie. It was weirder than I thought it was going to be. And yeah, it just had a weird, it was like the whole film was hyperbolic in the sense that it was like, here's a story about things that are kind of adjacent to what's happening in the real United States of America, but at a more extreme level, sort of
exaggerated.
Yeah. He's like a revolutionary. And you're like, what does that mean? Like, what do you mean like a revolutionary? Exactly. And then he's like fully like blowing things up and assaulting things. And like, they're trying to like, he's part of this group that's like trying to take down the like illegal immigrant concentration camps that they have and stuff like that. But it's like taken to a level where you're like, I don't think anybody's actually doing this, right? Like this is sort of a fantastical version of that. And you start watching it and you're like, is this movie supposed to be telling me to have a revolution? But then it gets so absurd and then the revolutionaries themselves are kind of hypocritical that you're like, okay, that's definitely not the message of the movie. But like at first you're like, what is this film telling me?
It could also just be a movie for the sake of being entertaining.
Oh yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. At first you're like, it's conflicting because there's a lot of narratives that line up with what's happening right now, but then the characters are just so insane and over the top. Sean Penn's character is really like iconically creepy in it and interesting. I thought it was fun. I don't know if I would put it up there with the reviews that it's getting. It was definitely entertaining to watch, but not a movie that I'm like, can't wait to see that one again. Is more of a like, that was weird. Like all the actors are great in it. And then at the end, I'm like, I don't even know what that movie was telling me, but it was interesting.
Well, as long as it was entertaining, I guess, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I was entertained from start to finish, so it was interesting. And Sean Penn's character is like, I've never seen anything quite in that vein of creepiness that he somehow achieved.
I mean, he's a good actor.
Yeah, it's a new thing for him for sure. And I'm glad he had an opportunity to do such a weird role. I've been watching because they're releasing episodes on a weekly basis. Amazon, I don't know why they would do such a thing. Not just drop it all at once, but Mighty Nine, have you heard of it?
Oh, you're actually watching it.
I'm enjoying it.
Okay.
Are you
Cool.
watching it?
I have not, but I plan to because I really enjoyed Vox Machina.
Yeah. Okay. I haven't seen Vox Machina yet, so I was thinking about going back and watching it. So you recommend that one?
Yeah, it's fun.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if I loved it because I love the people involved and the characters, and I didn't finish campaign 1, but it's cool to be like, oh my God, this is the campaign that I listen to basically as a podcast, right? Like it's neat. So yeah.
Now, is Mighty Nine based off of one of their campaigns also, or is it its own thing? It is.
Yeah, it's their second campaign.
That's really cool. So yeah, for people who don't know, this is Amazon shows, animated shows about fantasy characters in sort of a D&D environment. And it's based off of the Critical Role podcast show where they do an entire season of D&D role playing, and it's so beloved and so popular that they got picked up to do actual animated shows with. And I really like Mighty.
So good that in a season of movies and shows, it got #1 on Amazon.
Yeah, and for the record, I haven't listened to their podcast ever, and I really like Mighty Nine.
It's good.
And so I'm curious to see how Vox Machina stacks up to this one, but this one's pretty darn solid. I like all the characters; they're fun. I think a huge part of the success of the show, because you could chalk up most of the backstory to kind of cliche fantasy stuff,
Yeah.
Because that's what it is. But the characters are so likable that you're just sort of like,
who's
cool.
Your favorite?
Who's the Russian chick who fights with the giant lollipop? She's fun.
That is the right answer, and it's Jester.
Jester. Yeah. She's great.
She's played by Laura Bailey.
Yes. So she's really fun. Just kind of always sees the world in a different way than everybody else.
She is very chaotic.
Very chaotic, and has a god that she's certain exists, but everybody else is like, you sure about this whole...
You sure about that? Yeah, the Traveler.
Yeah. So you worship this deity that you're like, he's not here right now, but trust me, when he shows up, boy, it's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, crazy lady. So it's fun. All the characters are fantastic. Great voice acting. The whole crew's, known for their voice acting skills, and it's why they got popular in the first place. And it's just fun. I'm enjoying it a lot, and I'm mostly just annoyed that I can binge watch it all at once and instead had to watch 4 episodes. Then now I gotta wait for the rest of the episodes to drop. But highly recommend it. Yeah, if you got Amazon Prime, it's
I'll have to watch it.
Yeah. So that one's fun. That's what I've been watching. Don't know if I've seen anything else, but
Nice.
Yeah. How about you? Any books, movies?
I started watching the first hour of the new Mission Impossible, the latest one, and boy, that first hour was terrible, and I was genuinely surprised how bad it was.
This might be the one that I've seen. Which one is it? Remind me of what happened in the first hour.
It feels like a fever dream where they constantly are referencing.
All do. Yeah.
Well, so like Mission Impossible is really fun.
Yeah.
And I love the franchise to pieces. And it's over the top, right? Like it's nonsense, but at least it has like good pacing.
Yeah.
The first hour like slams Expedition at you for an hour, and then it just bounces between thing after thing after thing after thing. They're like, oh, remember how this happened in the previous 20 years ago?
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
A character dies, and you're just like, what is going on right now? Like it is not. It's not great. Apparently after that, it gets like insane, and it gets back to like that normal, regular, like what makes the Mission Impossible so much fun. And I need to get up. I need to go and finish it up. But I was so let down by that first hour. I'm like, what is happening, Tom Cruise? Normally these are so good.
Yeah. I enjoyed it, but I also had a similar, like, there was just moments where you're just like, does anybody remember these movies that well? Like they're they're playing it almost as if it's like the last movie in a Lord of the Rings trilogy, where you're like, you should definitely know all the plot points leading up to this, and you're like,
well, and then that's why I think they have all these flashbacks, because they're I think they realize the audience in testing just was not retaining
nobody's
this.
paying attention to their stupid AI plot and all that. Like, and the narrative is dumb to begin with. And you're like, oh, they're continuing on with this whole like AI entity thing. And they're just going forward with this terrible, like silly things. And it's fun from an action sequence standpoint. And, you know, the acting's fun, but the plot holes in that movie are so insane that you're just like every scene, you're like, why wouldn't they just do that? Or like, pretty sure software doesn't work like that. Or
it does in the future.
Yeah, there's too many things where they're like, don't worry, before so-and-so died, he invented a special thing that solves the problem that we needed to solve. And you're like, oh, okay, so this guy just invented something that, like, you know, 1,000-person company couldn't figure out. He just did it on his own in his basement with his little soldering iron and crap, you know. Like,
it's the Marvel Iron Man, you know, thing.
Yeah. It's been fun. It was fun. It has all the crazy stunts, but the story in Mission Impossible, like, just gets so absurd.
The series, and this is why I'm so let down by the first hour, is it's genuinely one of my favorite action, like, just blockbuster franchises. Like, they're just fun to watch. And so when I sat down and I was watching, I was like, I genuinely had a moment where I was like, did I get the wrong movie? Like, is this a fan?
Did you get to the submarine sequence in it?
No, I did not get to that sequence. No.
It has some incredible sequence. That is my favorite part of the film. I hear
it's fantastic. Yeah.
And you're watching it. You're like, not only is it shot incredibly well, I know Tom Cruise is probably doing all of these stunts, which is just insane. Yeah. Underwater claustrophobic stuff is like, it's just a certain vibe. And I don't think I've ever seen such a cool sequence in an action movie than in that one. And then they of course try and top it at the end of the film with crazy plane stuff, and just like, okay, like, but you've already seen Tom Cruise do crazy plane stuff, so you're like, he's got to be crazier plane stuff, you know.
Jumps out of a plane with no parachute. Tom, we can't do that. That's not, like, there's no insurance that will cover this. Do it.
Yeah,
I'm doing it anyways.
It has some excellent sequences in it, but it's by far a perfect film. It's kind of all over the place.
Yeah, so I need to finish it up is what I need to do. But I was definitely let down by that first hour.
Makes me want to see more. I like submarine movies, dude. I think I'm just a sucker for sub movies. There's just like a vibe about it. You know, it's like inherently it's a bottle movie in the sense of like people are trapped in a environment and they all have to interact with each other. And then you throw in the tension of submarine combat and everybody's losing it and trying to keep their cool. And it's like, it's just a fun formula. And then you can either do it historically or fictionally. Das Boot is one of my favorite movies. It's like, it's just such
Das Boot?
Yeah. Perspective of a German U-boat in World War II. And just like, oh, such a good movie.
Gotcha.
Really, really well. I think that movie set the tone for all sub movies after it. And then everything's just been trying to like replicate what they achieved. Solid sub movie. Well, cool. Anything else you want to talk about for your notes for the podcast today? Say, I don't know.
Yeah, that was my notes. I just don't know. I just don't know what to talk about. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have too much else to talk about. There's some Valve stuff, but we can save it for another time. I just thought it was interesting. Justin Bieber's losing subscribers on Twitter, I guess, or something. You want to talk about that?
Well, that's such a shame. Oh no.
Yeah. People were joking that he's posting too many like he's happy with his family type posts, and so all the people who are like, Justin, I thought he was gonna be for me, are like leaving or whatever. That's in the vein of this I thought you would want to comment on that, Matt.
You know me.
I was going to start it off with why did you unsubscribe from Justin Bieber? Because
I have not unsubscribed from Justin Bieber. No, I've not. I'm very happy to hear that he's doing well, and I hope he is doing well, because there was videos going around the internet, and I don't even follow the guy. where he was it looked like he was having a rough time. So
Yeah.
I wish him the best in that regard.
Yeah. There was I saw an article on PewDiePie recently because I think he said something or was interviewed or something where he was talking about, he's like, yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to be playing games this year, or I rarely play games these days. And it was just, people were all like, oh, he's changed or whatever. And like, yeah, he's like a dad. He's a dad now. He's living life, man. Like, of course he's changed. It is funny though. I always think it's interesting where like people don't understand the YouTube grind and all that stuff, where it's like he's made tons of money and he can do whatever he wants, and he has chosen not to do the YouTube grind, which I think from the outside perspective, people are like, why wouldn't you want to do that? And then when you are a content creator, you're like, it's a huge amount of work and a lot of stress, and it never ends.
It is a grind.
Yeah, it's literally, they call it a grind for a reason.
Yeah.
But anyway, I thought that was funny to see people like talking about that. Like, yeah, of course he's chilling, man. He's like in the next phase of his life. But yeah, it is interesting because I think in some of the classic professions of like, say, a late night TV host or like a show host, like a morning show type thing or a late night show, that's like the end goal for a lot of these host type personalities, where they're like, this is the ultimate thing, I get to do this thing. They also have like a huge team, and it doesn't take up their entire lives, forever. They can actually have a life outside of that. I think it's better orchestrated for that. So you see these people that retain these positions for a huge amount of time and enjoy it and all that stuff, and then on the YouTube side, it's like, yeah, it's probably a lot more grindy than most people realize, and most people don't have a huge team set up to facilitate
even though they do
their
have
content.
A huge team, I do think they put there's a lot of preparation that goes into each episode. But I hear you.
For like, you mean like the late night shows and that type of thing? Yeah, for sure. But yeah, the preparation is by the team and not necessarily always the host per se. Yeah,
it's not a one-man team.
Yeah. Anyway, interesting subjects. I'm happy to wrap up the podcast there.
Sure.
Looking forward to getting back into some BF6 and dabbling in Arc Raiders. My incentive is to just get that cool little backpack thing, from the trials or whatever.
The trials?
I don't know how much I want to grind it.
I'm not too worried about it at this point.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, whatever. It's a suitcase. Who cares?
Yeah.
I'll be fine.
Pretty much.
Yes. Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for dropping by the podcast. If you want to support the Level With Me podcast, check out our Patreon linked below. Patreon members get to watch us record the podcast live, like some of our Patreon members are doing right now. And then after we record the podcast, we have a little sit down, a little chat about anything that interests us. And we're going to be talking F1 today. I can tell you that.
Oh
Matt.
boy.
We're talking some F1. They've already
can't wait.
Maddie has already begun the F1 conversation, and I am looking forward to diving into it. But thank you guys so much for watching the podcast. We appreciate y'all. And Matt is going to leave you with some incredibly helpful advice.
My helpful advice this week is get yourself a nice butt pad.
You're in that era, Matt. You're in the butt pad era
now, yeah. I realized that after every stream, my tailbone would hurt, and I'm like, why does my tailbone hurt? I'm like, oh, because I think the chair is not not padded enough, so I got myself a butt pad.
Nice. What kind of chair you got?
It's like a leap chair. I don't know
what that is.
It's a chair.
Okay. Cool. You should you're pro streamer now. You should get your like Herman Miller or whatever,
Have you seen the price of those goddamn chairs, bro? They're insane.
Matt, I like that you're cheap, Matt. You're like you do a thing.
Bro, there's a difference between cheap and then there's like Herman Miller. Like I think there's a difference.
They are overpriced. Yeah. They have their economy models, but they are.
Also, I like to call it frugal. Thank you very much. Frugal.
Potato. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Take care.